being healthy, being physically healthy, being physically fit, and also using exercise as a means to mitigate anxiety and for just to keep my mind straight. It's so important to me. And that if I didn't have those things, and maybe I was drinking every day or doing coke or doing something, I could see myself falling apart. I could see myself, because I think it's just a natural human characteristic.
Yeah.
But right now, like if someone said, hey, are you worried that you would get hooked on something? I'd be like, no.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't, because if I thought I was getting hooked on it, I would just stop, because I'm not interested in doing anything that's detrimental to me. I'm not interested in doing anything that's going to tank my life.
No, and neither am I really. But I'm like, I guess what we're analysing is that, like, you know, one of the areas of distinction between our two natures. There are some things that are quite similar. It sounds like we're from pretty similar types of background. It sounds like that we both had negative experiences of a step parent, and like I don't know if that's true actually. If you
My stepdad's actually a good guy,
right? Like, but at the time I didn't.
But I did have negative experiences with my biological father. And there was a divorce when I was very young.
Sure.
We moved around a lot. There was a lot of stuff along those lines. But it's just everybody that seeks exorbitant amounts of attention is fucked up. And if you want to go on stage, like, why would you want to go on stage? Like, what kind of a person wants that amount of attention?
What kind of psychopath metabolizes childhood trauma into, even though I'm really frightened of this, I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to stand up there and I'm going to trust that what I've got to say.
It's like this fucking weird idea that somehow or another not having a lot of attention when you were younger can all be fixed by getting a shitload of attention when you're older.
My house weren't warm enough when I was a kid. I always keep the heating up high now. But it's
now
too
I live
late.
in a sauna.
I'm staying in here. It's too late. That's already happened. You're not time travel. It's not a time traveling sauna. Yeah, and like so, but it feels like somehow or another, one way or another, you metabolize that suffering into some kind of form of discipline and control. Is how it looks from the outside. Yeah. And for me, I collapsed into chemical dependency as soon as it came into my life. Like that was my religion.
Well, I found martial arts at a very young age, and so discipline became my addiction. And I got very, very, very fortunate that I went in that direction, because I grew up with a lot of guys that drank a lot and did a lot of drugs, and they went off in their way, and I didn't. I avoided all that throughout all high school. I barely partied in high school. I got drunk like a couple times. I smoked pot a couple of times, and that was it. All throughout high school. My high school was filled with discipline, and all I did was train. I was a very weird kid in that regard. Like, socially, I was kind of an outcast. But I found I found through that path, it was like there was a clear road where I could be a better person and a happier person.
My wife pointed out something that wouldn't have been obvious to me as an outsider of martial arts, that a lot of martial arts people have a geeky component. There's something geeky about it. Like, you've got to study movement, you've got to understand it, you've got, like, there's a lot of art. You can nerd out on the moves, nerd out even on the kit and the aesthetics. And I feel like to have discovered that early in life, it's kept you within lines, I assume, where even the potentially combustible violent impulse has had somewhere to go. All of those things have been able to have been targeted.